Ran. Man, did we run. We had to get away from that mean old maintenance man. I was afraid he might really try and hurt us for teasing him. Hey, I said to Lawan, pointing at a nearby building, let's hide in here. Do we know anyone in there? I thought for a minute. Yeah, I said, there's that guy who's so nice and gives us candy all the time. Good, Lawan said, let's go. What a big mistake I was making. Little did I know that this would be the first of many times that I would be the victim of sexual assault. Now remember, I am 4 years old here. It's hard to believe, right? Hell, I don't even know why we were allowed to roam the neighborhood alone at that age. I guess times were different, and so I began knocking on the door frantically. The man answered quickly and even seemed happy to see us. Come on in, he said, smiling, his mustache bigger than I remembered. We rushed inside and began all at once telling him why we were afraid. He made us feel comfortable. He gave us candy and soda and then started playing music. His house was neat but kind of grimy, the hardwood floors gleaming, but at the same time looking like they had a thick layer of dust and could use a mopping. Come, the man said to each of us, tapping his hand on his seated legs. Sit on my lap. We all took turns sitting on his lap. As I was there, he started to kiss me and put his tongue in my mouth. Yuck! It was gross. But I thought it was still better than having to face the angry maintenance man. I tried to laugh it off and move away from him, but I really didn't know what to do. I was 4. I repeatedly tried to move away from the man, but he grabbed me, turned up his music really loud, and then led me to the back, to his bathroom. I guess I was his child of choice. I don't know if I knew what was going to happen next. I don't remember even being afraid at first until he pulled my pants down. When he did, I immediately pulled them back up. But then he just pulled them back down again. He then took a glob of what I believe was Vaseline and wiped it in between my buttocks. What happened next was horrifying and extremely painful. He pulled his pants down and sat on the side of the bathtub. That's when it happened. He pulled me down on his erect eggplant and penetrated me through the back door. And you know I'm using words that are not really in my book just for TikTok's sake. I screamed, but no one heard me. Now I know why he turned the music up so loud. I jumped up in horror, pulled my pants up, and ran out of the bathroom to my unknowing friends. Let's go, I said. Why? Lawan asked. What's wrong? Nothing. Let's just go. But let's go. I'm not playing. I just knew we had to get out of that apartment before the candy man found me and took me back into the bathroom, which would have been more worse than anything the maintenance man could ever do to us. We left. As soon as we saw the coast was clear, I ran all the way home, terrified, my heart beating really fast and fear gripping me. I was 4. As soon as I walked through the door of my house, my mother wanted us to leave. Let's go, she said. We had planned to go to the mall and she was going to buy me a ring. I was excited about that, but it was competing with a nasty, wet, sticky feeling in my underwear. I need to change, I said. Why? She wanted to know. I didn't feel like I could answer that question because if I did, I knew my mom would get mad at me. After all, it was my fault, right? Why did I take the janitor's mop? Why did I go into a strange man's apartment? If I hadn't taken the mop and angered the maintenance man, I wouldn't have had to hide. And then the candy man couldn't have done such an awful thing to me. But Mom knew something was up. She wouldn't let it go. Mother's instinct, I guess. What she thought was that I had peed on myself. No, I assured her, I didn't pee on myself. I ran to my room and quickly changed my underwear. As we got into the car and drove to the mall, the interrogation continued. Well then, what is it? Why did you have to go change your underwear? Nothing, I insisted. We got to the stoplight around the corner before I agreed to just fess up. But I wanted to bargain first. Okay, I said, if I tell you, do you promise to still get me the ring? No, she replied, I don't make no promises. Tell me anyway, now. Okay, I said. We hid the maintenance man's mop and he came chasing after us. So we went to hide in the other building and got inside the man's apartment. And then he gave us candy and soda and made me sit on his lap and kiss me with his tongue. And then he took me to the bathroom and pulled down my pants and wiped some stuff inside my buttocks and then pulled me down on his private. But then this is heavy, y'all. Hold up. But then I jumped up and we ran out of his place. That's why I needed to change my underwear. Am I in trouble? Am I going to get a whooping? Are you still going to get me the ring? I asked. All of these things all at once. And as soon as everything was out of my mouth, my mother screeched to a stop and made a U-turn in the middle of the street. Next thing I knew, we were back at the house and she had called my stepdad, who was a Secret Service agent. Within a few minutes, there were police all over the place and in my home. I'm sure that they asked me a lot of questions about what happened, but to be honest, I must have blocked it all out as I have no memory of it. I do, however, remember that this team of guys with special clothes and guns went to the Candyman's apartment. I had to go with them to point out this place. They surrounded it with their weapons out. It was like something out of a movie. I had to go down to the police station to identify him and to give a statement. Remember, I was 4. It turned out that the Candyman was from Mexico and in the country illegally. They deported him. That was the end of him forever. I never even knew his name, but the nightmare he gave me has never gone away. I also never got the ring. That's the end of chapter 1. That's enough for tonight. Chapter 2, I will do tomorrow. Chapter 2 is entitled, I Am Not My Hair. Thanks for watching, and if this is triggering any of you in any way, and you feel like you need to talk to someone, but you don't have anyone to call and you don't have any resources, please private message me and I can give you resources of someone to call, to be able to talk to, because that's extremely, extremely important. And this is, again, my journey is for women, but I've had people that have read my story, men that have confessed to me that they too are survivors of this, that they haven't even told their wives. And there are wives that are survivors that haven't told their husbands, and they're having issues in their relationship intimately because of the skeletons in their closet, the trauma, all the things that keep them paralyzed, that keep them stuck in this place of shame and disgust and embarrassment, or, so it's different for everybody. Let's not judge one another, right? Some people may say, get over it, girl, you were 4. There's a lot more to the story though, but I'm just saying, you just never know, never know. So say a prayer for someone tonight, include me, and give me a follow, share the story if you think it's something that someone else needs to hear. Trust me, it gets better. It gets worse before it gets better, but look at me now, from trauma to triumph.